restless. I am so restless. And this changing world leaves me speechless. I am lost for words, but I kept my nerve.
We are live in Charlottesville, Virginia. Big last game here.
Yeah,
What's
brother.
up, guys?
What's up, man?
How you guys doing? Appreciate it. We got a torch
All right,
ceremony.
move it out.
We got a massive rally. This is a historic event going on tomorrow. Unite the Right. Got Tony out here.
Replace us!
Yes! You will not replace us!
You will not replace us!
You will not replace us!
Welcome to the Fallen State. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Long after it happened, we are still talking about Charlottesville, Virginia. I have with me Baked Alaska. He's an alt-right activist and the author of Meme Magic Secrets Revealed. Tell the folks why you're wearing shades so they don't think that you're trying to be cool.
Yeah. So I'm wearing shades because when I was in Charlottesville, I was violently attacked by Antifa.
Right.
And so my eyes are super sensitive to the light, so I can't really see very well.
It was a report out for a while that you might go blind or something.
I was hit with a chemical attack.
Yeah.
We don't really know what it was. Some people said bear mace. Some said it was some sort of bleach or something, but basically about 90% of my eyesight was gone for the first 5 days. When I first went into the ER, they told me there was a large chance that I would have permanent damage. They had me on all sorts of meds. It has completely humbled me. Like, it's been an experience for sure.
Yeah, I saw the video where you were screaming and like, oh, help me, and
Yeah.
they put milk on your face or
Yeah.
your eyes, and that's amazing. Did they ever catch the person that did it?
They haven't caught the person yet. They have some suspects, but it was so chaotic. And they actually, the mainstream media was rejoicing that I got attacked. They were like, look at this
Amazing.
guy, ha ha ha. I got thousands of messages saying, I hope you die, I hope you go blind. They were targeting my family. And they say I'm the hateful one. They
Yeah.
say I'm the Nazi and this bigot that hates everyone, when that couldn't be further from the truth. And no one let me tell my story. So there were some bad things in Charlottesville. But at the end of the day, I went there to speak at a free speech rally. We had a permit, we had every right to be there, and no one should be violently attacked
That's right.
just for exercising their free speech. I don't want a lot of these things that some other people talk about, but that is their right to talk about them.
Yeah.
And we have to let the ideas get out, even the bad ideas. We have to let them get out and then say, you know what, that's a bad idea. I don't really like that one. And I would like to point out, when was the last left-wing rally where you had a group of right-wing people come and terrorize the event and try to
Right.
shut the event down?
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
That's right.
It doesn't happen at all.
Okay, they're forming a wedge over here.
Form up around Big. Form up. Where's our park? Where's our park?
Where's our people? We're surrounded.
Please.
Oh, I got pepper spray.
What happened?
I need milk. I got pepper spray. Help! Help! Help!
I can't even see. My vision is gone.
Did you help put on the Unite the Right rally, or were you invited?
I was invited to speak there. But this is the other interesting thing about Charlottesville and about Unite the Right is there was no rally. I was being led by the police to the park where the event was going to be. I never made it to the park. I got attacked within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So they say, oh, there was this hateful rally, like,
No,
you know,
I saw that.
not a single person spoke. So how can you say there was a hateful rally when 0 people spoke? People didn't even make it to the venue. You know, so it was such a psyop by the media just to completely discredit Trump people, conservatives, people on the right wing. Now they're basically saying anyone who's right wing is a Nazi or is far right, and KKK and all this stuff. You know, I don't think anybody supports that type of shit.
Were there KKK members and skinheads at the rally in Charlottesville?
I believe there were. I didn't see them personally,
okay.
but on the media shows that they were there, and that is
I
something.
thought I remember seeing the hoods.
Yeah,
I think I did see
on
it.
the media. They showed some of that.
Right? Why did they show up? Do you know?
I don't know. I mean, we cannot control who shows up at these rallies.
Right.
That's the unfortunate truth. But if I were to see someone in a KKK hood, I would strongly condemn that. I would say, dude, get out of here. This is not the place for you to be.
You know, for the last 27 years, I've been saying that white, straight, conservative Christian men are under attack.
Yeah.
But they were not speaking up. They were afraid for fear of being called racist. And I've been saying that the race war is already happening, except that it's one-sided. The white man is under attack, but they won't say anything or do anything, so it went out of control. And now white men are starting to speak up. Why did it take so long?
We grew up in a society where the media told us if you're a white male, if you're a white person, you should feel guilty for just how you were born. We sort of just pushed it aside, said, oh, it's not a big deal. It's not a lot of people that think like this. And then, you know, in this last year or so, I noticed the anti-white attacks coming from the mainstream media were just constant.
Right.
They put out on MTV, you know, 17 reasons why white people suck. And they would never say that about any other race.
No blacks or Hispanics.
If you were to
or
say that
anyone.
about black people,
Yeah.
you know, you would never hear the end of it. And I started to realize, wait, they've normalized hate and violence against white people. They've degraded them. This is not about white supremacy or Nazis.
Right.
If that were the case, then why is a black Trump supporter getting sucker punched in Laguna Beach? Why are they kicking a Hispanic family on the ground in Berkeley? You know, it doesn't make any sense. So what that tells me is it's not about fighting white supremacy or this boogeyman Nazi guy. It's that they are against the very fundamental principles of America, of a Christian nation that was set up by our founding fathers, and they hate it.
It was a blatant cheap shot in Laguna Beach Sunday night. Video catches a man walk up behind Trump supporter R.C. Maxwell, then take a swing at him.
If the optics were completely different and I was a Black Lives Matter supporter and I was attacked on the Trump side of a protest, I would be spotlight on CNN right now.
Maxwell met up with me on Tuesday, telling me the attack was unprovoked.
I went over to the left side to see if I can engage them with dialogue, and I was instantly encircled by the so-called anti-fascists.
With the alt-right rallies, there are others going there to protect you guys from Antifa and others because they are so violent. They come with weapons and things like that. Is that a good idea for the alt-right supporters to come armed like that, knowing that the media is going to use that against them?
I think we were backed into a corner where basically people brought defensive gear. People brought helmets, goggles, shields. I mean, honestly, I will never go to anything without wearing goggles ever again. I went through the worst pain of my life. So I don't blame some of them for bringing protective gear. I think anyone who's bringing offensive gear and who's advocating for violence, I think that's completely wrong. We should not be doing that at all. I think in general, I would like to sort of stay away from these rallies for a while just to de-escalate the situation.
Right.
Because what happens is if we keep showing up, Antifa keeps showing up, and they want a civil war. It's very clear.
They really do.
They you know, they're taking sledgehammers to Christopher Columbus monuments right now. They want to destroy our history. Why don't we make America great again by coming together and helping our communities? What are they going to do? Is Antifa going to come attack us at a soup kitchen? You know,
They might.
They might.
What were you hoping for by holding those rallies? What was the mission?
I've spoken over dozens of these rallies, and they were a good example of practicing free speech. We live in an age where the New York Times just said, I think we need to redefine free speech.
Yeah.
And we're having websites getting shut down, like the Daily Stormer, and although I don't agree with a lot on that website, it is very controversial. You know, that's setting a terrible precedent to just start taking down websites. I personally got a lifetime ban from PayPal, Patreon, GoFundMe. All my accounts were banned. We see this happening with other mainstream conservatives like Pamela Geller. She had her PayPal banned just for saying ideas, for having a certain ideology that you would get banned from a payment processing system.
Yeah.
So I
Why
believe...
is it that the left own everything? Why is it that the people on the right don't invent things and have ways of getting the message out on their own?
So the right actually is working on a lot of great alternative tech. There's Gab.ai is a great alternative to Twitter. There's Freestarter, which is coming out, made by Chuck Johnson. The problem is it goes much deeper than you would think, because I was on this site called Rootbox because I got banned from GoFundMe. But then what happened to Rootbox is they got their PayPal and Stripe accounts banned, so then they couldn't function as an alternative brand. So it's going all the way even to Visa and MasterCard are banning businesses, they're banning conservative individuals, alternative tech companies. Apple banned Gab from the Apple store so they can't get into the iPhone store. So not only do we see a monopoly with these tech companies, but they're not allowing conservative alternatives to get in.
That's amazing.
So that's the reason.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
I am so excited. I can't believe it. Finally, the TheFallenState merchandise is here. Look at this beautiful shirt. We have red, white, and black. Comfortable, I like the fit. Really nice t-shirts. And we have mugs. The TheFallenState mug. On the back it says, "Did you have fun?" Did you have fun? A gift. Excellent gifts, both. This is a great way for you to help us. Can you imagine your friends seeing you with this at the office, at the park, in your home? You're gonna love it. Order them now. Go to TheFallenState.tv. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I want to ask, over in Charlottesville, the cops were told to stand down. And so they allowed Antifa to attack the alt-right. Do you know who did that, who told them to stand down, and why?
I believe it came from the mayor. That's my understanding of it. I'm not, and because the mayor revoked the permit for the event the night before, and then the ACLU stepped in. They said these guys have a right to free speech, and a federal judge came in and said that this should be allowed. I don't know what really happened there, but the police shoved us into a situation. They shoved us right into the Antifa people, and then they called a state of emergency and just let them. I saw people getting beat up in front of me. I was violently attacked, and the police were just standing around.
Amazing.
And I couldn't believe that. And that's, I love saying Blue Lives Matter, and I support the cops so much. But now I'm starting to say, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But the only conclusion I'm coming to is that it's these liberal mayors that are telling them to stand down and not letting the cops do their job. When I was in Portland, we had some of the same speakers there in Portland. We had a free speech rally. It was with the Patriot Prayer Group, Joey Gibson. I speak at all sorts of different conservative type groups, but the police did their job. If anyone on Antifa or our side were to grab anyone or to swipe anyone or even to instigate something, the cops would grab them and arrest them.
That's right.
And that was that. And there was no violence because it was a zero tolerance policy. And that's what the cops need to do at this situation. In Charlottesville, they didn't separate the protesters. In fact, they shoved us in the middle of mobs of Antifa with bats, with sticks, with all that stuff. At the end of the day, if Antifa didn't show up to Charlottesville, no one would have died.
Right, yeah.
No one would have been hurt.
Yeah.
Are you guys here?
In the name of the Commonwealth, you are commanded to disperse. If you don't disperse immediately, you will be arrested.
Watch yourself, watch yourself. Sorry.
Would you go through that again?
No.
You would not?
No, if I could see the future and I knew what would happen, I would have stayed home from Charlottesville. It was a complete setup. It was a complete mess. It was a disaster. It was, CNN knew what they were doing. All the mainstream media, they had their narrative ready. They had, the guy with the swastika flag. Here's the question I have. First of all, that swastika flag, straight out of the box. It's still got the creases on it, really makes you think.
Yeah.
And why didn't they identify that guy? They were doxing and identifying pretty much anyone who was at those events and trying to ruin their lives. But the guy with the Nazi flag, no one knew him. The media never identified him. So what's going on there? And we also had many reports that Black Lives Matter and people with KKK stuff were going on the same bus together.
Amazing.
They have.
I wouldn't be surprised. Let me ask a little bit about you. You grew up in Alaska.
Yeah.
And what was that like for you?
Oh, it was fantastic. It's such a beautiful state. Our motto is the last frontier. You can pretty much do anything. There's moose running across the highways. It's a really wonderful place. So I still go there. My parents are there, go fishing, and go hang out at my cabin.
And so were you raised a Christian?
Yes.
And are you a Christian now?
Yes. I was raised as a Christian, and I've done many missions trips over to Russia.
I read that.
Yeah, we help orphanages out there with medical supplies. I have 5 adopted sisters from Russia. I'm not a Russian spy, I promise. But basically when I moved out of Alaska and moved to LA, I walked away from my faith for a couple years.
And why?
Because I think in the end I needed my faith to be my own. And I think it was sort of like forced upon me. And I think God wanted me to fall on my face, hit rock bottom. I got into drugs and drinking and partying.
And so were you closest to your father or mother growing up?
Closer with my mom.
Your mother, and why not your father?
My father was very harsh. We're actually really close now, but growing up, my father was very harsh with me, and if I didn't know how to do things, he would sort of get mad at me.
So when your father would be mean, you would run to your mother, she would say, there, baby, don't worry.
Yeah.
That mean old daddy.
Yeah. How do you know? Are you like a psychologist or something?
Do you realize your mother should not have done that now because it's weakened you? Whenever mothers protect the children from the father, and you become a weak mama's boy?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
I know a lot more about myself now.
So do you truly see that, what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. You know, looking back, I don't think I was wise enough to understand. Like, I see it now. Now I'm like, oh, you know, I should have totally saw that he cares about me and he's
But your mother was in the way and she didn't allow you to see that.
Yeah.
Because she was like the welfare, she was protecting you.
You're right, you're right.
Am I?
Wow, you're smart.
Did you go to your father and apologize for being angry at him?
Yeah.
You
I
did?
did. I used to hate my dad. Like, I'll be honest. I used to hate him because he wanted me to be on the right path, but he was so adamant about it. And I think that is part of the reason that I rebelled against God and why I got into the party life is because I grew up in a very strict home.
Yeah.
When I look back at it, I'm like, that was amazing. I love those morals. I love those traditions that he wanted to raise me in, but I just couldn't see it at the time. And I'm like, this guy's no fun. Why doesn't he want me to have fun?
You know, I read about how you got your name, Baked Alaskan.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Tell the folks how you got that name, how you came up with it.
Yeah, well, I'm from Alaska, born and raised, and I used to be a bit of a stoner back in the day. But it's also a dessert. It's an ice cream cake. So a lot of people don't know that, but it's like an old-fashioned dessert. And so it's sort of a tongue-in-cheek. It's a duality. It has a double meaning, and a lot of what I do has a double meaning. I'm a parody artist. I do a lot of memes and jokes.
Yeah.
So, some people don't realize that I'm joking. Like I'll be very edgy and take things very far, and people just got to realize some of it is real, some of it is a joke, but they got to know who I am as a person.
Yeah. Back to Alaska. We love our cops, our law enforcement. We love our military, they're important. We love our cops, our law enforcement. We love our military, they're important. And when I'm in the jam, I know that I can call up the man with a plan. When I'm on the run,
Are you afraid for your life?
At times I am.
Yeah.
I get death threats all the time.
Right.
Antifa, hates me. Lots of people will, scream that I'm a Nazi and all these things, and white supremacist, racist, and all this stuff, which I find funny because I've always hung out with people of all races. But the moment that I spoke out and defended white people,
yeah.
and I defend all Americans, I want to make this country great for everyone. But when I say that includes white people, all of a sudden I'm a racist. All of a sudden I'm a white supremacist because I point out in 17 states, there's more white people dying than being born. There's a problem with the white birth rate, and no one wants to talk about that. There's a problem with just white people having a seat at the table. In this last election, you got blacks for Trump, you got gays for Trump, you got, on the left, of course, you got all your identitarian groups. But the second a white person wants to say, hey, what about my rights? What about my interests? It doesn't mean you hate other people. It just means, why would I not want to look out for myself? and that makes me an evil person to the media, apparently.
So your parents, they worry about you?
They do sometimes. I've been a public figure for close to 5 years now. So at the beginning, my mom was like crying all the time and was really worried for my life. But now she's like, I got another death threat. Not a big deal. So it's gotten a lot better.
I read about you last night. You're a very, very smart guy.
Thank you.
I read about what happened. You worked for Buzzfeed
Yeah.
at one time, and they loved you because I guess they thought you were liberal.
Yeah.
And then they found out that you supported Donald Trump.
Yeah. I got hired at Buzzfeed to be their social media strategist.
Right.
So I ran their Twitter and their different social media apps. And that's a big job for a big company. And at the time when I started, it wasn't like a SJW, social justice warrior type company. It was more like funny cat videos and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they slowly started turning into this, third wave feminism, anti-male, anti-Christian, anti-Trump type platform. And I wasn't making the content, I was just putting it out there, and I started to notice that they openly, in the office of BuzzFeed, they openly talk about how they wish Trump would be assassinated. When Justice Scalia died, the whole office, they were cheersing each other. They were taking shots.
Wow.
They had a party for a guy dying. They hate goodness. They hate
Absolutely.
Christians. They hate people that are doing the right thing. They make it trendy to do the wrong thing and to be full of degeneracy. And when I came out that I supported Trump, I was treated like I had leprosy or something. They stopped inviting me to meetings, and then shortly I quit because it was just so tough for me to even be at that office.
I love the way, knowing that was happening, you wore the Trump hat anyway.
Yeah.
Because the thing I don't like about the left is that they believe that they can do and say and act any kind of way that they want, and we shouldn't say anything about it. But when we stand up for what we believe in, all of a sudden there's something wrong with that.
What can I do? I'm a meaningless statistic. There could just be a way I could help the fallen state. I'm not crazy. That's never gonna happen. I'm not living in a dream world.
Well, what's the matter with you?
Jesse? Jesse Lee Peterson? You're my favorite YouTuber, and I wish there was a way for me as the viewer to support you.
You can help us, and you can too. Whatever amount you can afford, even $1, we appreciate it. Go to patreon.com/TheFallenState.
That's amazing.
So you had gone over to BuzzFeed, I believe, and you applied for a job.
Yeah.
Or you sent in your resume, however you did it, and you didn't hear anything from them.
Yeah.
And so you decided, well, I'm moving back to Alaska.
Yeah. I literally had packed up my whole place. I had my suitcase. I was in an Uber on the way to LAX airport to fly home. And then I got the call. I didn't even remember applying. And they're like, hey, it's BuzzFeed. Like, can you come in tomorrow? And I was like, I already gave up on my Hollywood dream. Like, I'm going home. And they're like, no, we're really serious. And I'm like, I had been looking for jobs for like 6 months. I couldn't find anything out here.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, we really, really want to hire you. Like, trust me. Like, And I was like, I'm going to cancel my plane ticket, so this better be serious.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, like, please cancel it. So I did, went in and they loved everything I did. They loved my work on Twitter and YouTube, and they hired me right away.
That was an amazing story.
And by the way, how could I not believe in God after this?
I know, that's right.
You ask, how did I come back? It's like so many things in my life are like, they can't be coincidences.
Yeah.
But go on.
And so I'm reading it. My producer sent me the story. She's like, you got to read this.
Yeah.
And so I opened it up, and it was so long.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, no, I can't read this. Black people don't read. You know, you have to have a short story or put it on TV.
Yeah.
So I'm reading it, and it was so interesting. And I scrolled down. It was so long. I'm like, oh, my God. But I couldn't put it down. You are a very, very interesting guy.
Thank you, man.
And the way that your life unfolded, and you know, the things you have gone through is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
There was an interview with Business Insider.
Yeah.
But first let me ask, because the rumors out there, do you hate the Jewish people? You hate Jews?
No, absolutely
You don't
not.
hate Jews?
No, I actually have some Jewish friends that I brought here.
Do you have one here? Where's the Jew?
Yeah, right there. 2 of them.
Oh.
No, I got one. I got one.
Oh, you the Jew?
Yeah, right there.
Oh, he looked like a Jew.
Yeah. So no, I have no problem at all with Jewish people.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, these groups that come after me, the ADL, the SPLC, these groups they're Jewish run, and they come after me and anyone who criticizes anything having to do with the Israel lobby, and they just say you're anti-Semitic.
Oh.
And that's all it is. Why can Sarah Silverman dress up as Hitler, dress up in blackface, and she's a liberal, and that's all funny, but then if I make, a joke, then all of a sudden I'm a Nazi and I hate Jews.
You tweeted out that you regretted that you said that the media was run in majority by Jewish people.
There's a lot of black guys in the NBA. Like, is that racist to say that? Or is that just a fact? So I think the better way of talking about it would just to sort of point out the facts and not be so abrasive about it. I sort of just, said it flippantly, and apparently it offended some people. So I was like, yeah, I probably could have said that in a better way. But the actual content of what I said, I believe to just be a fact.
If you believe in the Constitution, that's the only requirement to be a part of our groups. Charlottesville, Virginia isn't the first city we've been to. You guys that have watched our videos, you know that we've been from sea to shining sea, and that will continue. The things that happen today, the things that are being said on the mainstream propaganda news machine, you f***ing pieces of shit, the things that you are spewing out of your mouths for ratings are going to burn you down.
Yes.
It's not going to deter us. The cops were present today.
They let the shit take place. We actually sat back and watched them let Black Lives Matters attack patriots. We got attacked. They set the shit up for it to take place.
I was assaulted with sticks with them standing right there, and they did nothing.
And with some more proof on that, I'm over here blinded from pepper spray, blinded from maze. We're getting attacked by Antifa. I jump over the police barricade. What did the police say? You need to get out of here before you get arrested.
White people founded this country, right?
Yes.
It was white people who came over on the boat.
Yeah.
They found this place.
The evil Christopher Columbus.
The Indian was hanging around smoking pot.
Yeah.
They were not doing anything with the place.
Yeah.
So white people took it and made it great.
Yes.
And they made created a constitution and said, we're going to be free here to do what, live like you want, make as much money. Why did they invite the people of color to come here? Because now the very people you invited in are now turning on you because you're white. Yeah. It's like, have you ever had a family member come to your house and then they stay 2 weeks and the next thing you know, they're trying to take over the house and now you got to tell them they got to go and you regret inviting them. Why did white people allow others to come into their country and take it over like this?
Well, I wish they hadn't, to be honest, Jesse. I wish they hadn't, and
But why did they do it though? I don't. Why? If you were smart enough to create, to establish a country, why weren't you smart enough or brave enough to keep it going the way it should have been?
Yeah, well, they should have held their ground, and I think this goes back many generations. But like a perfect example is none of us asked for this third world immigration to come in and replace the demographics. And, when Ronald Reagan, even though a lot of people like him, when he did this whole amnesty bill, he specifically said, oh, this is not going to change the demographics of the country. And then right after that, we saw it changing. We saw more illegals coming in. I think the people who founded this country should have been a lot harder. I mean, go look at other homogenous societies like Japan. You can look at Israel, China. You know, Japan has like 99% ethnic Japanese people as citizens.
Yeah.
And like, is that racist? No, of course not. Those are the people that founded the country, and they have a right to be the majority there. You know,
they want to put you out of your own home.
Well, slaves that were brought over here, I would argue that their kids and their grandkids have a pretty awesome life here.
Right.
Do they want to be in Africa?
Nope.
Because I think it's pretty...
I offered them a free ride back to Africa.
Yeah.
Not one person has accepted.
Exactly.
They offered.
And all these celebrities, too. They're saying, oh, you know, Trump's terrible. I'm going to move to Canada.
Greetings, Afro-America. Are you a victim of white racism in America today? Does the thought of another white president scare you? Have you ever found yourself hating every iota of a cracker?
Every last iota of a cracker, I hate it!
Well, get your chicken and waffles to go, because Bond Action is hosting a Back to Africa ocean liner adventure. For a limited time only, get the reparations you've had coming to you and head home. Navigated by the same white liberals who already control your lives every day.
Food stamps, unemployment insurance.
Take a seat in the bottom deck and get rowing. Negro spirituals will be presented throughout the trip, and complimentary seawater will be served hourly. Watch as all your issues disappear upon arrival to your old home. Enjoy a simple, carefree life, as you will no longer have any rights or liberties to worry about or protest for. All of these benefits can be yours, but once on board, there is no going back. One-way tickets only, and we wish you the best on your new life journey. To sign up, register at bondaction.org with your contact information. Bond is not responsible for malaria, yellow fever, HIV/AIDS, gonorrhea, animal bites, infection, starvation, violence, tooth rot, gingivitis, rash, or black-on-black slavery.
What happened to the white man that he became so weak and gave into that? If you don't understand where you went wrong, it's never going to get better. Because I want to know what happened.
It's because people took advantage of the nice Christian nature of the white man, I believe. I believe we have a loving spirit.
But you're not supposed to be weak.
Exactly.
Christianity is strength.
Yeah, and
Greater is he that's in us
they
than he that's in the world.
misinterpreted what loving means. You know, love your neighbor, turn the other cheek. I think that was construed into let everyone walk all over you. And we need strong Christian men. We need strong white men in this country to stand up for themselves and to say, we're not going to take this stuff. We're not going to take this anymore. A country that we built. We built some of the greatest inventions of all time. We have the internet. We have, you know, so many great things here. And to just to let other countries take it over, I think is ridiculous. People are losing their jobs over this stuff. So I'm doing the best I can, and there is power in numbers, and there is a way that if other white people just start speaking up for their self-interests and for their rights.
There are a lot of, well, some activists on the right who are fighting back now, but they're angry.
Yeah.
And in the fight, they're blaming the Jews, they're blaming the blacks, they're blaming, and I think that's a mistake to fight back with anger.
Yeah.
Because you're going to end up in the same ditch or hole that the blacks and others have ended up in. I believe that you should fight back, but leave the anger out so you can stand up and do it in the right way. Am I wrong in that?
You're absolutely right. White people need to stop blaming other groups. They need to take responsibility. They can't say, oh, it's the Jews' fault, it's the blacks' fault, it's the minorities' fault. They need to stand up for themselves and we need to be responsible for our own lives. We've been told by society we can't even come together as a group. We can't talk. If a bunch of white people were to just meet together and talk about anything, they would say it's a Klan meeting, okay?
Right.
But any other race,
but you should
Hawaiian,
do it anyway.
Asian,
You should just meet
That's
anyway.
what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to do this stuff, man.
Yeah. Men are the most hated creatures on earth.
I agree.
If they could wipe men out today, they would.
They would.
Yeah, or they'll turn everybody into gay or something. But why do they hate men?
Men that have good morals are very strong in this country, and they don't like that. They want to take away the power.
Yeah, if they can get rid of the straight white man, it's over for the country.
Oh, they would do
over.
that in a second.
Yeah,
if they could get
over.
rid of straight white Christian males, press the button, they would vote on it
They're the
right
only
now.
one that's holding the country together so far.
That's right.
But if they get rid of the straight white man, it's done. Do you want white nation, or you just want things to work for white people?
I don't want an all-white nation, absolutely not. I want an America that's great for all Americans. I think having a white majority is historically what this country was built upon, and I think we should keep that. But I think there's a lot of great people from all other races that contribute to this society. It was built as a white majority, and I want people to know that there's nothing wrong with that. You shouldn't be ashamed of that or feel guilty or feel like you're racist for saying that and wanting to preserve it. I believe Western civilization is, the greatest civilization ever built, and anyone who's trying to destroy that is our enemy.
Yeah.
And
I
so
want
that's
a
what
wall around the border. I
I
want
want
a
a wall,
big,
too.
beautiful wall.
Yes.
I want to stop Muslims from coming here, radical Islamic Muslim, from coming here. I want to shut down illegal aliens from coming in, and then put slow down the regular folks coming in through the front door in the right way.
I agree, 100%.
I want jobs back. I really want a chance to just, as the president is trying to do, make America great again. And the way to do that, you have to stop everything and then clean up, get all the folks out of here that shouldn't be here, put all the bad people in prison, throw away the key, and let's get to cleaning up things and make it right again.
Absolutely.
And so tell the people the name of your book and how to get it.
Yeah, so my book is called Meme Magic, Secrets Revealed. You can get it on Amazon.com, and I'm Baked Alaska. You can follow me on Twitter at Baked Alaska, and on YouTube as well.
And so my final question, did you have fun?
I had a ton of fun.
Build the wall, it just got 10 feet higher. Build the wall, it just got 10 feet strong. Build the wall, it just got 10 feet higher. And build and build and build and just build the wall. Build and build and build and just build the wall. I just wanna make America great. I just wanna have a Trump take on my plate, making history again, cause my daddy keeps winning. Got the nomination, yeah, that's just the beginning.
Next time on The Fallen State.
You were born a boy, right?
Yeah.
How did you find a doctor that would do that?
Google.
Oh, yeah? Because you changed the body part, it didn't change my mind. So in knowing that, I'm still calling you a boy, but it's not meant to be mean.
I could stomach it. I don't care.
Would you be offended?
I'd probably be annoyed. I would flip this table. Just kidding.
Thanks for watching The Fallen State. We need your continued support. Donate to my nonprofit here. Subscribe and like the videos here. And tell everybody and their mama about the show.